Hey, what's going on, guys? Elijah here. Doing another vlog. It's Thursday, the 17th of June. No, I'm sorry, it's Wednesday, 17th of June. Not Thursday yet. Out here on the K-pipe 125. Definitely gotta say, after doing this last engine reconstruction, this thing's running exceptionally well this time. And all stock is going. I actually was able to get it up to about 65 miles an hour the other day, which is extremely fast for this little bitty bike. So today I'm going to talk about the motorcycle safety course, which is a really, if you're going to get your motorcycle license and you want to learn how to actually ride safely, it is how I got my motorcycle license, and it is probably the best way to get your motorcycle license because they do allow you to talk with experienced instructors that are in the motorcycle safety course. It's two parts. One part in the classroom, and then the other part is in their field classroom out in the parking lot somewhere. That will allow you to really kind of get the ins and outs of riding a motorcycle and all the rules and regulations down, and the technique, at least beginner technique, in a safe environment. That's not, especially here in Los Angeles, it's not out on the streets in traffic where it can be pretty dangerous at. So I highly suggest people, if you're thinking about getting a motorcycle. I had a guy ask me in traffic the other day, like, what do you got to do to get the license? And I was like, well, go take the class. Yeah, it could be, I know it's hard to come up with $300, especially right now. With things, the economy not doing so good, but it's money well spent. I really wish I would have spent the money before I wrecked and busted my stuff up. But unfortunately I didn't do that. But I did end up taking the motorcycle safety course, and that is how I got my license to ride a motorcycle on my license. So it's, definitely, I would recommend to anybody thinking about riding to go to the motorcycle safety course. It was a small class, only about 10 people. Half of the class was women. So I would, tell people who, are misogynistic mofos to, you need to lighten up because there are a lot of women riding these days. And, if you've ever been on a group ride, one of the things you notice, it's all a bunch of dudes and no females. That's not gangster, as they say. So definitely was good to see the diversity in the class. Here in Los Angeles is a very diverse city, one of the most probably diverse cities in America, and it was a very diverse class. Made some good friends at the class. And everybody in the class passed the class. They pretty much make sure you have the skills to get through the test that they give you at the end of the class. It's also good talking to instructors and just kind of get their experiences. A lot of them have been down in accidents and stuff too. It's one of the things they don't tell you when you get in the motorcycle ride. It's like, oh, what do motorcyclists talk about with each other? When they're talking to each other, just wherever they should meet. And no, we don't talk about going fast or doing wheelies. Nope, we talk about crashing most of the time. Which is just kind of one of those things about motorcycle riding that we talk about is when we crash. So I definitely recommend to anybody who's thinking about getting into riding, the motorcycle safety course. It was a really good experience. I got a really good sense of accomplishment when I finished the course. That really felt good. I felt like I graduated college or something. And I definitely felt a lot more confident riding You know, and they really go through like a lot of the particulars that are kind of counterintuitive, like counter steering, leaning the bike, being able to do like small, low speed turns and whatnot, which is really important, especially like in motorcycles and stuff. You know, because low speed turns are actually the hardest thing to do on a motorcycle. That a lot of people don't know that. Low speed maneuvers are toughest. So it is definitely something that they will help make sure that you can do the low speed maneuvers proficiently and safely. You know, here in California, the motorcycle test that you can take at the DMV to get your license, there's a 95% fail rate on that test. So 95% of the people that take that test actually fail that test, and they fail to get their motorcycle endorsement because it is a pass or fail test. And if you watch people on YouTube that go do the test, it's in a parking lot, it's just a lollipop. But if you put your foot down or you stall out just once, that is the end of your test. And I believe there is a maximum number of times in which you can actually take that test. So definitely, you know, don't waste your time is what I would say. Obviously, if you're a motorcycle instructor, then fine, go ahead and, you know, take the test that way. But you know, it was money well spent on getting my motorcycle endorsement. And it just, you know, like I said, it's really good to talk on the instructors, and they really kind of give you some hands-on. If you don't have a motorcycle yet, and you're thinking about getting one, they will provide a motorcycle for you to ride, and a helmet. All you need to make sure is you have you know, leather boots that go over the ankles and gloves, and let them know that you need a helmet and bike beforehand, and they will let you learn on one of their bikes. Okay, which, you know, I was the only person in my class that actually used my own motorcycle to take the course. You do have to have insurance on your vehicle or on your motorcycle, and you do have to have a not super loud exhaust. It does have to be stock if you're going to take class. So I waited to upgrade my exhaust after I got my pass in the class. So it's kind of a reward for myself is my exhaust on here that I got. You know, a lot of the people were actually getting their endorsement so they could ride a scooter instead of a motorcycle, because you know, like I said, half the class is women, and you know, a lot of women want to ride to help, you know, save their family money, and you know, just to commute to or from work and have a cheaper vehicle rather than having an extra car note. So it is definitely one of those kind of cool things that people are doing nowadays. Is getting on two wheels. I know a lot of millennials aren't really riding, so, you know, but, you know, those of us are, you know, it's becoming a much more diverse activity to do. Yep, I love lane splitting law, and this is the best. This is such a great bike for lane splitting. It's so skinny, and I'm skinny too. Get out there and get the road to yourself. And you know, then kind of gets back to the class. You know, it's one of those things like, you know, before I started riding, man, I watched all the YouTube videos I could. And, you know, there's some actually pretty good people out there on YouTube that are good at giving advice, but there's nothing like getting the hands-on instruction face-to-face with somebody so they can really explain. Because some of the aspects about, you know, when I watched those videos were really intimidating, especially counter steering. I could not get counter steering by watching videos. It's something that you have to do in order to understand it, at least for me. And once I did it, it was like, you know, or the fact that a motorcycle, as long as you got throttle control going, the bike stays up on its own. You don't have to hang on to it like a bicycle. You know, it stays up on your own. That's how people on bicycles are able to ride with no handlebars, because they're allowing the angular momentum to keep them upright. So it's kind of one of those things that having the hands-on really can help you out in getting understanding some of the finer concepts of motorcycle riding that exist out there in the world. And it's one of those cool things. I know I've met people that they only got the endorsement so they could go surfing in another country and get really cheap rates on renting scooters to ride around on. So it's one of those kind of really cool things of becoming a part of the elite. Here in California, motorcyclists, you go to the front, baby. You can split lanes all day long. I don't have to be stuck in traffic with all those cages raging. And man, they be raging in them cages, dog, but I'm happy as a lark here. That's a nice Honda there. So, definitely, like I said, reach out to the safety course. Some of these people that live in other states may actually be able to know some of the instructors personally, or you may be able to get some better advice, more personal. But taking the motorcycle safety course was really an awesome experience for me, and it's one that I recommend for anybody. And if you want to, you can go take the intermediate courses after you complete the beginner course. And I believe they teach you things like stopping, which stopping is actual safety braking maneuver that you can learn to do on a motorcycle to help hopefully avoid you from getting yourself killed or crashing or something, or seriously injured, which a lot of people think is just a trick, but no, it's actually a safety maneuver that people can actually perform. Now, that's one of those maneuvers that I can't do because I've never tried it really. The only time I tried to stop it, I went over the bars and crashed into the side case of a Harley. So definitely, as soon as I get the cash available, I definitely would like to go take the intermediate course and learn some of the more intermediate defensive maneuvers that you can take on a motorcycle to help keep yourself safe and gain more control over the motorcycle. Because a lot of the stuff they teach you in the beginner class is really just to get you beginning and best practices for people who are less experienced. And then obviously in the intermediate courses, they can really take you out and show you what to do in other types of situations once you get a little more experience under yourself. And I believe if you keep going up in the courses, eventually they'll take you out with the CHP officers will actually take you out on a course themselves. And they're, motorcycle officers are actually considered to be some of the safest riders out there, or at least they claim to be. I don't know how true that is. But from what I hear, it's pretty strict the way they manage their mounted officers. Like if they mess up, they take them off the bike for like 2 weeks. That's from what I hear. But they have motorcycle officers generally have a very good safety rating, very few fatalities, at least on duty. And so that's one of those kind of cool things. Like I tell people, how do you want to ride? Well, I want to ride like a motorcycle cop personally because I want to stay alive. And that's just kind of the truth to it. That's actually how my dad, he actually ended up getting a motorcycle endorsement on his license because when he worked for the police department back home, they wanted him to be able to ride ATVs, so they actually made him get licensed to do so. Yeah, my dad, he had a motorcycle for a little bit, but somebody put out in front of him in the driveway and he dropped the bike and he was like, I'm good. So that does happen, but I figure for some people, being a cop is enough danger enough every day anyway, especially back in the 80s and 90s. So that's all for today, guys. Hope you guys ride safe out there. Stay safe from the COVID-19 virus, because it is a pandemic. It's still, cases are really rising here in California. It's one of the reasons why I got me a motorcycle, was I could be by myself and be safe while I'm commuting with these jokers out here who don't want to wear a mask, and they probably don't want to wear a helmet either. But don't listen to those micro-idiots out there. They don't care about you. They only care about their own egos. They only ride the motorcycle for their own egos. I know there's a lot of guys on YouTube talking about it's fake, it's not real, it's a bunch of bull crap, but they're probably not, they probably don't work on the front line. They probably some jerk that works from home and doesn't care about other people anyways. That's a cool ass bicycle right there. And they're just micro idiots, and they just want to look cute for the president. President Orange Julius. I know a lot of people ain't gonna like me saying that, but the guy's an idiot. Let's face it, guys. So please stay safe out there. Please ride safe. Wear your gear. At least wear a helmet. If you don't want to wear full gear, hey, that's your choice. But at least wear a motorcycle helmet. It's the law here, but I know back in Michigan, it's optional. And man, cats won't spend $50 on a brain bucket, man. I mean, at least wear a brain bucket. Ooh, that was a nice little piece of you rocking the road. You gotta watch out for them road hazards, y'all. It will get you. I don't want to run that mess over. That's why it's good to not be tailgating. Watch the lane positions. So you can avoid mess like that. But that's all for today, guys. Elijah out.